Hey guys, it's Bryony, welcome back to my channel. So today's video is actually one from quite a while ago. So I filmed this pregnancy test line progression right after I found out I was pregnant because I didn't want the test to get too old and to dry out too much, and it's quite tricky to see the lines when that happens. So I filmed it way back in June after I just found out I was pregnant. Line progressions are basically where you take pregnancy tests every day, even after you've had a positive one, just to check that the test line is actually getting darker so that you can feel relatively confident that the pregnancy is a viable one. It's not a guarantee, but seeing that line get dark and get particularly strong can be quite reassuring. So that's why I did it, and I used 3 different tests, and I basically have lined them up and laid them out for you in this next clip. I know that the way that I've released some of the videos on my channel recently has been a little bit confusing, so if you're watching this in real time or at later date and you want to know where this video fits in, the best time to watch it is probably after episode 7 in my Solo Motherhood series, but you can watch it straight after that or really at any time. But the order of my videos, how they work, is that my Journey to Solo Motherhood series is filmed from when I start trying to conceive and finishes at the end of my first trimester, and then my bump date videos start from pretty much the end of my first trimester onwards. So if you want to watch them in order, my Journey to Solo Motherhood series first, there's 8 episodes in that, and then watch the bump dates. And you can watch this one pretty much at any point after the episode 7 of my Solo Motherhood series. So I hope you enjoy it, hope you find it interesting, and it's just something I wanted to share because I really enjoyed looking at line progression test videos when I was trying to get pregnant and I was testing, and I found them quite useful, and I quite enjoyed seeing the lines get darker. So if it's something you would like to see too, then keep on watching.
So here is my pregnancy tests line progression. I've got my little cheapy easy at home test strips up there, my first responses and the clear blues that I took. So I'm just going to line these all up in order and go through them with you now. So first up are the easy at home strips I took. You can see the line progression quite easily on these ones. I ran out at 13 days past ovulation, or I would have kept going a couple days more, but I didn't want to buy another pack because these come in packs of 20 and I definitely didn't need that many. So 7 DPO, there's absolutely nothing. It kind of dried with an evaporation line, but other than that, there was nothing on the day. And then it wasn't until 10 DPO that I got a positive on these ones, and then 11 DPO, 12 much more obvious, and then 13 a lot darker there. And then these are all my first responses. Some of them have started to go a bit yellow, I'm afraid. This is just what happens after time. So this is 9 DPO, and you can't see it now, or maybe you just about can, but there's a very, very faint line there. And that did come up within the time frame, and I saw it and I got really excited. But then throughout the rest of the day, it sort of faded away and I couldn't see it again. So then I was starting to think I imagined it. But then on 10 DPO, so this was the first one I got any positive on. Then on 10 DPO, you can see here, I got this faint line and that came up, and it actually was darker within the time frame. So it was really easy to see. So that was when I knew absolutely I was pregnant, which was really exciting. And then 11 DPO, it got much darker. The lines darkened on these ones really quickly. I was really impressed by that, actually. So 11 DPO, 12 DPO, and then I didn't have one for 13 DPO, but I had some pain on the evening of 12 DPO. So on 13 DPO, I went and bought some new tests and started taking it on 14 DPO, which you can see here, it's really, really dark. And then that was 15 DPO, and at that point I stopped because the next day was my beta blood test. So these are my clear blue pregnancy tests. So the first one I took was on 10 DPO. This is one of the ultra earlies, and I don't think you can even see the line anymore. It did come up in the time, and you could see it, but it was pretty faint. Whereas if you compare it to like the first response, that was pretty obvious. So I would definitely trust first response over the ultra early clear blue pregnancy test, because it just you can't even see it now. I mean, these ones have gone horribly yellow. Then because this one was so faint, I didn't want to take the digital on that day. This is an ultra early digital. So this one I took on 11 DPO, and as you can see it says pregnant. And then this is one of the rapid responses that gives you the cross. This is faded now too, but it was really obvious on 12 DPO, so this one is when I took that. So personally, out of these 3 brands of tests, I would recommend the first responses. They were by far the most sensitive. They picked it up the earliest and became obvious the earliest as well. Although I will say the Easy at Home did really good too, because I could easily tell on 10 DPO that it was positive. I could see quite a clear line on it. So if you're on a budget, definitely invest in the Easy at Home cheapy test strips, because I think they were well worth it. The clear blues, I enjoyed doing them. The digital, definitely, this is really nice to see the word pregnant. But the ultra early, I personally wouldn't bother with. I didn't particularly like it, and it looks so the background is quite blue as well, even when the line shows up, so you're not quite sure if it's just a line that's already there or if it is actually a pregnancy line. And the rapid response was all right too, but this is only a 25 sensitivity, so it doesn't pick up until you're a little bit further along. So I wouldn't want to use this one as an early pregnancy test, but it is quite nice to see the plus sign as well. So I'd take this one a bit further along if you're like 11 or 12 DPO, but not in an early pregnancy test result. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed seeing my line progression.